Hello and welcome to Career in Economics. The website of IIT JAM 2024 is now online. So this video, where you won't be able to see me, we will have a detailed walk through the JAM 2024 website and see what relevant information is there for us. So to go to that website, just type in IIT JAM 2024 and obviously JAM 2024 IIT Madras. So basically this year IIT Madras is conducting it. Okay, so this is the official website, and the first important information that you see here is that the online application opens on September 05, 2023. So this is the first important date that you must note down. So on Teachers Day, you come back to this website, click here or here, the candidate portal, and you can apply. If you now click on here, it will simply refresh. It will open the same page. So let's close it. Okay. Now we'll go to the admissions. You can start with what is there in above, but we'll start with the other section of the page. So admission, as we know that we are talking about economics, and economics is not studied in all the IITs. So here you have 21 IITs, and not all IITs offer economics. So we are going to first check which IITs do offer them. So for that, you see here, click here to refer academic programs. So let's click on it. So here you see academic programs, minimum education qualification, and seat matrix. Do not select institute name, we do not know that. Select JAM test paper. You click on it, it opens, and select economics. Now you have the relevant table. So let us study it. So there are two institutes, IIT Delhi and Roorkee. Just like last year, they are offering MSc in economics, and the test paper code is EN. Okay. And what is the minimum education qualification? MEQ. So BA, BSc, BCom, BStat, BMath, BTech, BE, or equivalent. Delhi wants minimum of 3 years of education after your HS, basically your honors. Okay. But in BA, nothing is specified here, and that is important because if you come to IIT Roorkee, you will see BSc Economics and BA Economics. Okay. And here it is written no restriction for engineering degrees. Now, this is a channel that I run for the students of economics. So I'm hoping all the economics students are only watching it. But if some other guy is watching it, then also you can understand what they are saying about BMath, BStat degrees which are provided by ISI or engineering degrees provided by IIT itself. Okay, now let's look at the seat matrix. So GEN stand for general. This PWD here, it means person with benchmark disability. IIT has a very clear specification on what they mean by benchmark disability, and we will move into that. EWS is economically weaker section, again PWD, OBC, OBC PWD, SC, SC PWD, ST, and ST PWD. Okay, so the total number of seats offered here in Delhi it is 25, and in Roorkee it is 33. Interestingly, if you check or if you have checked, then this is the same number of total seats that was there in JAM 2023. The seat allocation has slightly changed. Mostly it changed around the people with benchmark disability section. Okay, now we'll go back and just before we proceed, here are the websites for all the IITs. This is also an important page, and it is important because last year we have seen that IIT Delhi, for example, has offered 15 additional seats apart from what is there in the JAM. Okay. Also, last year IIT Kanpur had a special exam for economic student. apart from JAM. Okay. So later on, we will check some of the relevant IITs to see whether one or two of the IITs offer such kind of a thing. Okay. Now come here. So there are two kinds of eligibilities here. One is the ER eligibility requirements, and one is minimum education qualification, MEQ. Now MEQ is applicable for the application of JAM, and ER is applicable only after you qualify in JAM. So this ER becomes relevant after the rank list is published and not really before that. Okay. So let us go to MEQ. So again, economics, and you see that you come back to the same page. So essentially, in the last section, you have covered all the MEQs, all the relevant details. Okay. So now we are going to go back in the main page. Here also you see minimum education qualification and seat matrix. If you click on them again, you will be directed to the same page. Okay, now we come to the most important part of this video, and that is the application process. So the first here is that registration starts on Teachers Day 2023. So here this is application, and as we have seen that before 5th September, that is if you click on it now, it will just give you back this page itself, the main page. Okay, so your first task is application. Deadline is October 13th. Okay, so basically it is 5th September to 13th October. Then comes the application scrutiny part, which will be done by IIT. So you don't have to really worry about that. After the scrutiny, they will release the admit card. They will not send the admit card via email or something. Okay, so they will simply release the admit card on January 8th, the date, mark this date, and you have to download it from here. Then comes the examination schedule. So we are talking about economics. So here is EN, as you can see, EN, and it is in the afternoon session. The afternoon session means from 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. So the 3 hours exam is from 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And the date is 11th February. Last year it was 12th February because last year 12th February was the Sunday. Okay, then comes the result, that is response and answer key. So result will be declared on March 22nd. Okay, so that's the next month, and then the scorecard will be available from 2nd April. So that is not really written here, it is written somewhere else. We will go to that. So the scorecard will be available on 2nd April, and the admission procedure will start from 10th April. So your MEQ, that is minimum education qualification, will be required here when you are applying. Okay, and your ER, that is eligibility requirements, that will be relevant here when you'll be applying in different IITs, that is Delhi and Roorkee, and not before that. Okay, so let us go to the read more for the detailed procedure. Okay, so the application procedure written in detail. Here you see some of the important thing is that you need a valid email ID, an active mobile number, and you will be asked to set a password. Also, your enrollment ID after successful registration, your enrollment ID and OTP will be sent to the mail ID and mobile number. So your mail ID and an active mobile number is the most important thing for your application. Also, this enrollment ID and this password that you set, these two becomes the most important, because you may have to access the application for editing or for other purposes, that is admit or rank list. You need to have this enrollment ID and this password. So these are the key to enter your portal after you complete your registration. Okay. So obviously it's completely an online procedure. You need this, your photograph and signature. These are usual. If you are coming from OBC, NCL or EWS or SC, ST, PWD, then you need the relevant documents. Later, we will show that the formats of these documents are also available in this website. So we'll come to that. Okay. So once you do all of this, you pay the application fee. The application fee, which is for general and for OBC, which is 1800, and for female, SC, ST, and person with benchmark disability is 900. Okay, so you pay the application fee, you complete your application, and then, as it is said here, that they check the status of the application form, such as received, under scrutiny, accepted, defect status, status after rectification, rejected with valid reason, and admit card ready for download. So these all the things, they take time. So that is why you see that you will be starting your application on 5th, but the admit card will be available on 8th January. Okay, so the time is taken for this. Okay, now we go back. All right, so let's see what is written on the left side. So on the highlights, it says that the kind of degrees they will give, but then again, we will click on read more and go to the relevant part for economics student. So here about JAM is not relevant to us. We have checked the admitting institutes, right? So we come to general information. So in general information, also we have covered the first two, February 11, we know it. So now we will go to the test papers, which is the second most important thing. So in test paper section, this page is opening. Okay, so you can find economics here on the left side. Okay, sorry, on the right side, and here is the syllabus. So if you click on it, a page will open as part of your Google Drive. Okay, and this is the syllabus for JAM 2024. Okay, so you can download it, you can add this file to your Google Drive, whatever you need. Okay, and if you go through it, you will see that this is exactly same as JAM 2023 syllabus. So that basically means that you can keep on your preparation. Your syllabus did not change. So that's a very good news. Now, previous question paper. So if you click on it, you see 21, 22, and 23. They are available. If you click on it, let's say we click on 23, it gets simply downloaded as a PDF paper. Okay, so this was last year paper. You can see how the question is constructed. Go through it, because once we discuss about the marks distribution of section A, then section B, section C, you will better understand the marks distribution if you understand it while you have this question paper with you, either online or offline, that is a hard copy. Okay, so let's close it here. You can simply download it. Then we'll come to the most important point, the pattern of question paper. Now, the pattern of question paper of IIT is a little bit complex. Okay, so listen carefully, try to understand what they're saying. So you have 3 hours, you know that. You have 60 questions and you have 100 marks. So obviously, how the marks are distributed. So there are 3 sections, A, B, and C. Okay, and A is your MCQ, multiple choice question. Okay, and in that multiple choice, you have 10 question of 1 mark, so that is 10 marks, 20 question of 2 marks, so that is 40 marks. So that means in MCQ, where you have only one correct answer, you have 50 marks, that is half of your total number. Okay, understand that? So this is very important. And again, in section B, you have multiple select questions. MSQs, they are very different from MCQs in the sense that they also have 4 options, but here you can have only one to all the 4 options correct. And the important part is that there is no part marking. So in MSQ, if there are, let's say, 3 correct answers, and if you give only 1 correct, then you get 0. All right. Now come to section C, which is the numerical answer type, NAT questions. So here you have 10 questions of 1 mark, and you have 10 questions of 2 marks. Okay. So that is 20 and 10. So that is 30 marks. So you have 30 marks from NAT. In NAT, you have questions where you have to calculate things, and you have to write the final answer in the computer. You have to put it in, you have to give it as an input. Now, this is the most important part for NAT. Needs to be entered using the virtual numeric keyboard on the monitor. Okay. So in CBT, the keyboard remains disabled. So the keyboard you will have as a hardware, you will use it to just access your exam paper. But after that, it will be completely disabled. So essentially, when you'll be entering the numbers as input answers for NAT, there will be a virtual numeric keyboard which will have only numbers. You will use that using your mouse. Okay. So don't try to press the keyboard and think why the answer is not being typed. That is not what you should do. In NAT also, there is no choices, so there is no answer, and there is also no negative marking. Okay. So there is no negative marking in NAT. However, there is negative marking in MCQ. So there is negative marking. And how does that work? For 1 mark question, it will be minus 1 by 3. 1 mark question, minus 1 by 3. For 2 mark question, it will be minus 2 by 3. So keep that in mind, that if you are making a mistake, then it is preferable that you make that mistake in 1 mark question, because then you'll be losing 1 by 3. If you make a mistake in a 2 mark question, you'll be losing 2 by 3, which is obviously higher. Okay. Before we go to the instruction, here is the guidelines for persons with benchmark disability. If you click here, this page will open where there is a detailed guideline for persons with benchmark disability. It has all the details about scribes, compensatory time or extra time. Okay, it has also the details of disability, all right, about the certificate. And as you can see, not less than 40% impairment. Okay, if you are interested, if you want to know, we can have a separate video specifically made on that. All right, now in instruction, there is an online virtual calculator, but this is not scientific calculator. It can handle only basic operations, and you have to control it by mouse. So while answering, as a teacher, I will suggest try not to use this. Okay, and as you may understand, all the electronic and digital devices and all of those things, they are not allowed at all. Okay. Oh, so now we'll go back. Okay, before we pass, there is only one thing that I must say about the rough page or scribble pad. Okay, because this is important. There is a very important instruction regarding scribble pad, and that instruction is that the second scribble pad will only be given after returning the first one. Okay, and this is more serious issue than you can possibly think. All right. So that means when you are using your scribble pad, okay, the first scribble pad or first draft page, use the space very judiciously. Otherwise, it can become a problem for you. All right. Okay. So now we'll go back to the main page. So in the main page, let us download the poster. So this also opens as a Google Drive file. Okay, you can directly add it. And if you see, this poster here has all the relevant information at one go, right? Like examination date, online application, application fee, There is a QR code scanner. You can use a mobile to do that. Who is eligible for admission? Apply, 7 papers and all that. Now, this section of where, that is the probable cities, this is something very different for IIT. So, listen this very carefully. Since you are applying for economics, your relevant IITs are IIT Delhi and IIT Roorkee. Now, if you are applying IIT Delhi, then the relevant cities are only these few. Okay, so Faridabad, Greater Noida, Gurugram, Hisar, Indore, Jaipur, Jammu, Jodhpur, Mathura, New Delhi, Srinagar. These are the only cities, only probable cities where you can get your seat. Okay, so don't think that just because you are applying, let's say, from some other place, you will get a home center kind of a thing. Okay, it is not that how it works. For IIT Roorkee, you can have a list here: Ambala, Dehradun, Ghaziabad, Haldwani, Jalandhar, so on and so forth. And as you can imagine, that the relevant cities will come here. So, for example, for IIT Bombay, you will get Navi Mumbai. For IIT Kharagpur, you will get Kolkata here. Okay, and it goes on like this. All right. So, in economics, you will be applying again, just to mention, for Delhi and Roorkee, and these are the probable cities where you can get your seat. So that means when you have applied, prepare. If you are staying at a distance, prepare to buy a train ticket or a flight ticket, whatever suits you. Okay. All right. So now we'll go to this here. Here also you see, okay, lots of uh, mouse clicking avenues, right? So we are on home page, we leave this about section. In the examination process, we have covered a lot of things. So if you go to application procedure, let's say, let's click on that and see. So you go to the page where we have already visited, right? So I have visited this page. So there are many ways to reach the same page. All right. So here for us, we will go to the application fees because there is some important information here. The information is that obviously for economics, you will be applying for one test paper. So as I said, 900 and 1800. And here is the catch. See, you may make a mistake or you may want to change the examination city, okay, or not really test paper. After you have submitted your application once. Now, if you want to do that again, there is a 300 rupees fee apart from the difference in application. So let's say there is no difference. You just want to change something in your, you want to change examination city or test paper or category or gender, okay, in your application. So in that case, you need to give 300 rupees extra. So obviously it is suggested that you fill up your application very, very slowly and carefully. Okay. All right. Now these are the ways you can pay the money. So these are the things that not really need a discussion. You'll understand it once the portal open. Once this portal open, we'll make another video where we can talk about how to fill up the application. Okay. Now examination cities, we saw that in the poster, test schedule, test papers. We have gone through all of that, right? So here is the admit card, and we know that it will not be published before 8th January. So let's click on that. And if you click, that's what it is say. What does it say? It says it will be available from January 8th, 2024 until the examination date. So that is till 11th February, right? So till 10th February, actually, you can download it and you can inform via this mail ID if there is anything wrong with your admit card. But the most important thing is not to be sent. As I said, admit cards will not be sent by post or email. So don't wait for that. Download it, print it, and with a valid photo ID, that is your Aadhaar card or your PAN card or your passport or your voter card, you go to the exam hall. All right. Okay. But this is also very important. A copy of the admit card of JAM 2024 must be carefully preserved by the candidate and produced at the time of admission. Okay. Why this is said? Because you see, the admit card will be available for download till 10th February. So that means once you have downloaded it and you have printed it, if you somehow, sort of misplace it, then you won't be able to download it again once the exam is over. But your admit card will be required at the time of admission, that is around the month of April. Okay, so that is why it is very important that you download the file and keep it very, very safe with you. Otherwise, you'll be in a deep problem. Okay, and then here it is, the rank and merit list. Just let's click it. Okay, so here it is written what we know. The most important part here is the tie breaking. So let's look at it. The tie breaking criteria for awarding the ranks to candidates scoring the same aggregate marks in a test paper will be as follows. How? Positive to negative marks ratio. That is how many answers you have got correct and in how many answers you have made a mistake so that you have got negative marking like -1/3, -2/3, so on and so forth. Okay, so that ratio, if that doesn't work, followed by NAT marks. So NAT marks are actually very, very important, right? Very, very important. Among MCQ, MSQ, and NAT, in MCQ, the first important point is the positive to negative marks ratio in MCQ. Why? Because there is no negative marking somewhere else. So it is important that in MCQ, you answer correct or you leave it. Do not go for guessing and get a negative marking, because as an instructor, I can say that negative marking is much more dangerous than you can possibly imagine. So after that, your NAT, then MSQ. And if all that fails, then the older candidate gets better rank. So that's like what they chose to do. All right. Anyways, so let's go to documents required. So photo, obviously, let's click on that. And as I said, that for photos, obviously, the size is very important. So passport size 3.5 cm cross 4.5 cm. I think you can, if you have of some different size, you yourself can edit it. Editing your passports, your photograph is very easy these days. Okay, this has to be of color. So that is very important that it becomes a color photograph. It has to be JPEG or JPG format and pixel 0.3 megapixel. Resolution is 480 and 640. Okay. The file size of the image range 50 KB to 200 KB. All right. So I generally do this kind of jobs in Lightroom. If you have something else, you can do that there. All right. But whatever you do, keep these ratios in mind. It is better that you write it somewhere. Okay. So it has to be in color. There is a size that it has to be in 3.5 cm to 4.5 cm. It has to be either JPEG or JPG. The maximum is 480 640. The minimum is 240 320. 0.3 megapixel, it will be 50 KB to 200 KB. All right. And the background must be white. They say very light color, but I will say white background is the best. The face should occupy at least 50% of the area, so that basically you can just you can adjust that. Okay. So your face has to be clear, full face view, that is you have to look in front of the camera directly. All right. So at one go, this may look a very huge list of uh, you know features or restrictions, but they are not, right? Any good passport photograph with a white background and color photograph with white background, face in looking at front, okay, uncovered face, no spectacles, nothing. All right, meeting the size criteria will actually wear. Okay, and this is obviously only clear glasses are permitted, but anyways. So here is an example. Okay. So this is how it should look. All right. And this is how it should not look. All right. Then we go to signature. So there will be, you have to draw a box. All right. So what you do is basically you take a white paper, draw a box of 2 cm to 7 cm, take a black or dark blue ink pen. Okay. That is, I'm sorry, black or dark blue ink pen. Okay. And you sign. Okay. So these are the, we'll come to the sizes. Let us see first. So these are the sample of acceptable signature. Here is your box. Okay. And in between that, you sign. All right. And obviously, the other rules are here. That is, you don't use capital letters. So it has to be a signature. All right. Okay. Or not initials. Okay. All right. And then it says the digital, get the digital image using a professional scanner. If you have your mobile, you have good scanners these days. I prefer using Adobe Scanner. You can use other scanners also if they're really good. Okay, and then again, the JPG or JPG format. Maximum is 160 to 560. Minimum is 80 to 280. And the file size is 50 to 150. So for photo, it is 50 to 200. For signature, it is 50 to 150. So as it happens, I will suggest that you do all of this before 5th September comes. Okay, that way you will be ready with all the documents. All right. So here we again go back to the benchmark disability guidelines. We have been to this page. Then the category certificate. Okay. So let's say the format of EWS certificate is given in Annexure 8. Let's open this. So if you open, it will be a part of, it will open as a part of a Google Drive. So here is the format. You see pro forma for economically weaker section certificate. So that means if you are coming from, if you are a candidate belonging to EWS, then this is the format that you should have. So basically, you print it out, fill it up, and you submit it. Okay, that's what you have to do. And remember, this signature with seal of office is very, very important. So here we see that it is given for EWS, given for benchmark disability, OBC, NCL. Okay, you click on these annexes, you will get the format. Now let's go to the downloads. So if you click on downloads, you can see that all the certificate formats, previous year's question paper, MEQ, academic program, sheet metrics, all the things that we have just visited, all the links are given here at one go, right? We'll go to information brochure later. Okay. So now important dates, we have checked that. In admission, let us go to admission procedure because we know the eligibility requirements and all the other things. Okay, so admission procedure. Now we can discuss this at length, but the point is this: unless you qualify in JAM, this whole admission information is irrelevant to you, right? So it starts with, let's say, you have to pay a non-refundable application of 750 for application of admission. But those things, they become relevant only after you qualify in JAM. So let's not waste our time in that because the candidate portal is not even open. And this will be a too far-fetched discussion. We'll come to that in due time. Okay. All right. So now there is FAQs and contact. You know how this works. So let's go to home again. And here is your information brochure. So let's click on that. It will also open as a Google Drive file and you can just add them or download it. Now, if you go to the information brochure, this information brochure obviously has all the things that we just talked about and it has a few things more. But let's not go into that right now. We have discussed all the things. So you go through this video, download this information brochure, and keep it handy because all the informations are written here in one place. Okay. So what are the relevant pages here? All right. So you know these highlights, we have covered all of that. So what are the relevant pages? So starting from first, the first 12 pages are relevant to you. Okay. So important dates and okay, contents. So leave introduction, JAM, general information, admission programs, admitting institutes. Result sharing is not relevant to us for economics. So pattern of question, we have covered all of that. Okay, test schedule and fees. So here is the afternoon session time. Then the application fees. Okay, so application procedure. On 5th September, all of this becomes relevant. Choice of examination cities. We talked about probable cities. Okay, then data requirement, that is your eligibility degree and all of that. Photograph requirement, okay, not blunt and all of this. So basically, all the information that we just discussed in the information brochure, they are given in a printed format. That's what it is. Okay. So admit card, scorecard, merit list. So we'll talk about admit card and merit list later only when it becomes actually relevant. All right. And here is the details for scribes. The 9 is for scribe compensatory time. That is the benchmark disability guidelines that we talked about. Then here is the admission procedure. We saw that too. Okay. So till 12, the information till page number 12, the information that you have is common for everybody. After 12, Annexure 1 is the syllabus. And for us, it is only economics that is relevant. So that syllabus is on page number 18. So, yes, here it is. So, economics, okay, it is the same syllabus that we just downloaded separately. All right. So, here it is. So, 18 and 19. And then in page 33, you will get your probable cities. So, let's just go into there directly. Okay. Yeah. So, probable examination cities for JAM 2024. Okay. All right. So, for the time being, if we summarize, what should we say? So let's come back to the home page. Let's look at it and just, so what is your duty now? To summarize, you wait till 5th September, okay? And you sit down with all the documents, your photographs, signatures. We said that there is a list of rules which are looks complex at first go, but they are actually easy. You open your portal, fill up the application, put up your signature and your photograph, check that the minimum eligibility requirement is actually satisfied by you, which is a simple graduation degree. And if you have not completed, then the relevant certificate from the institute will do. Okay. So and recheck your application, because as we said that if you want to change examination cities and all those things, then you have to pay rupees 300 more, right? And that's not a very good deal. So fill it up, check it again, make the payment, and it will go for scrutiny. Okay. And you can check if you want once in a week at most. And on January 8th 2024 you will have the admit card. In the meantime, just study well and prepare. I know you are already into it. Now the site is open, so the date is coming closer. I wish all of you best of luck.